A half-naked 17-year-old boy walks into In-Shape Sport in Tracy Monday afternoon with a chain and padlock wrapped around his ankle. And the first thing assistant manager Leah Leonardo could think of is this had to be a gimmick. It turns out it was no joke. Instead, police call it an unusual case of a boy being held captive inside this home just a block away. Tracy police say husband and wife, 34-year-old Michael and 30-year-old Kelly Schumacher, are being questioned by police. 2 other children found inside the home were taken into protective custody.
Did I mention the boy was wearing this and this on his ankle? His feet badly swollen, covered in cuts and bruises, his body caked head to toe in soot. How could the neighbors not know something was horribly wrong in that home? And to top it all off, the aunt who masterminded this whole thing apparently had a felony warrant on her. Why wasn't she behind bars for abuse of this boy? People thought he was only 12 years old. He was so emaciated. Back to David Begnaud with KOVR, standing outside the home there in Tracy, California. What did you find in the backyard, and how did he, we think, make his escape?
Well, Nancy, here's what we're hearing. We actually had a mass cam, which is on top of our live truck, that we shined down into the yard. There is a tree stump going from the ground basically to the top of what is a sound wall behind this home. It appears at this point, and from what we're hearing, stories that are being told to us by the people who first saw him at the fitness club, the boy may have scaled the wall, jumped over. Again, he's wearing boxer shorts and chains around his ankle. He only runs about 200 yards to the front door of this fitness club. The woman, Leah Leonardo, who you just saw, says she has her face down. She looks up and the guy says, "Look, please help me. They're coming to get me." He's only wearing boxers. He's got the chain. She says it looks like something out of a movie. She tells him to go ahead and come around. He runs behind, actually crouches down, puts his hands. She's shaking. He can't say anything but, "Please protect me. They are coming to get me." Leah gets on the phone, calls 911, and continues to tell them the kid says he's coming. She says she was prepared to stand between the 17-year-old and whoever they were that he was talking about. Nancy, they even tried to feed him a banana, but he was trembling so bad he couldn't even peel the banana to eat it.
You know, these are the sorts of stories that you believe happen, atrocities that happen overseas in some other country. This is right here in Tracy, California, in a very exclusive area. There, he got into an upscale gym there in Tracy. Out to Glenn Kell with the Manteca Bulletin. Glenn, what more can you tell me? Why didn't the neighbors call police? Did they not have an inkling something was wrong?
We had an inkling, but we live in a world today where people don't want to get involved, and if they say something, they're going to have to prove it and stand by their convictions. The most interesting thing about this story is how it has traumatized everybody who has had a part in the event. From the time the boy walked through the front door of the sports club to the 2 women who quickly came to his aid, put him in a safe haven underneath the front counter, to the police, to the medics, to everybody who came in contact with the horrific condition that he was in.
Glenn, traumatized in what way?
They have never seen such a horrific situation plied against an individual.
I am just sick. I'm sick to my heart about the way this little boy lived, and this aunt who was running free after abusing him in the past, who apparently masterminded this whole thing. Back to David Begnaud with KOVR. I understand there were other children in the home. How are they?
Yeah, they have 4, Nancy. Apparently, at this point, Tracy police saying they have no reason to believe those children were abused. The children were all under 10. The mother, who, Nancy, we just found out was a Girl Scout leader. 2 months ago, she became a Girl Scout leader. She just gave birth to a newborn. The newborn is about 10 months old, all living here inside the home. The mother, we're told, stayed home. The father installed cable in the Bay Area in and around San Francisco.
You know, I'm guessing, out to Dr. Susan Lipkins, psychologist and author of Preventing Hazing. Dr. Lipkins, I'm just guessing that the other children were the couple's natural biological children, and this kid was someone brought in to live with them, and so they treated him like an indentured servant, abusing him, clearly starving and beating him, chained to something, barely clothed. What is your thinking, Dr. Lipkins?
It's an extreme case of abuse and sadism, and I think it's really hard for us to understand how the parents could be, on the one hand, appearing to be normal, and on the other hand, being torturers like this.
Let's unleash lawyers. We are now taking your calls live. With me, child advocate Susan Moss, defense attorney Midwin Charles out of New York, and veteran trial lawyer defense attorney Raymond Giudice out of Atlanta. Susan Moss, weigh in.
Torturing someone else's son means your parental rights are done. Not only are this couple and hopefully the aunt going to spend the rest of their lives in jail, but also their parental rights to all 4 kids are gone. Not only do they lose custody, they lose any and all rights that any parent would have to their children. They may not ever see, speak, or have any contact with these children. That's what I predict.
Chained with a thick chain, a padlock, starving him, covered in soot, which says to me, where were they making him sleep? What were his conditions? The boy so starved, Ray Giudice, onlookers thought he was only 12 years old. All right, hit me. What's your best defense?
All right, on behalf of the husband and wife, the Schumachers, I'm pointing the finger squarely at this abusive family member with felony warrants out for abuse who is on the run. Until they find her, we're pointing the finger at her. And
okay, what about it, Midwin Charles, quickly?
That's exactly right. And in fact, that argument is buttressed by the fact that these 4 children were in very good condition, which goes
really?
to show.
Well,
they
aunt
were.
didn't
And
live
that
there.
goes to show.
The couple lived there, not the aunt.
Well, the aunt apparently visited many times and
Blah,
was seen.
blah. What does that mean to me?
She was
They
seen
lived
to
there
visit
with
many
him.
times. So who's to say what was going on when the aunt visited
Hey,
that child
you know
and
what?
they were unaware of it?
You two sing that second verse, same as the first, but you know what's going to happen at trial? This. Everybody's going to start
right.
pointing the finger at each other.
Well,
so
no,
you can
what's
blame the aunt right now, tonight on the air, but when it comes trial time, they're going to cave like a deck of
But keep
cards.
in
Well,
mind,
what's going
she's
to
the
happen
one
at
with the
trial
flight
is that the
charge.
prosecution is going to have to prove
She's
all
got
these
flight
charges.
charges. Well, he was being held captive in their home, according to the police, Ray.
Flight can be evidence of guilt. She's on the run. She's the one with the felony
You know
history
what?
of
I
abuse
agree
warrants.
with you. In my mind, they can all stew in the same pot together.
He just was shaking and he says, please hide me, they're coming to get me. I looked for cameras. I kind of thought somebody playing a really sick joke.